Hi everyone, it's Becky here from Ivy's Corner, and I am here to do another little Tangle step out video for you, working my way through all of the Zentangle HQ patterns for you and explaining how I like to draw them, hopefully giving you some inspiration for patterns to use on your own tiles and in your own work in the future for ones that you maybe haven't seen before. If you're new to the Zentangle method, there are lots of links in the description below with lots of information about what I do at ivyscorner.com, which is my website where I teach various different elements of the Zentangle method. I have a membership with live lessons. I have pre-recorded courses and lessons and all sorts of things for you to get stuck into, including a completely free introduction lesson and a free intermediate lesson as well, which I would love for you to go and check out on my website, ivys-corner.com. But for now, we're going to get started with today's pattern. And this is a pattern which has got a little bit of drama to it, some auras, and lots of lovely kind of ways of expressing yourself on the tile. It is a pattern I haven't seen used all that much from Zentangle HQ in the past. It is called Vermal. So let's hop over to my desk and we will get stuck into drawing the pattern Vermal. So here is my desk. I have my small tile here, my pen, pencil and my tortillon. And I'm going to start off by drawing myself a little string today. So I'm going to just create a kind of an orb-like shape around my tile like so. And that's just giving me a space that I can fill with my pattern. Now, the Tangle Vermal has some nice bold elements to it that we start off by, first of all, drawing on our tile and then inking in. So what we're going to do with this pattern, and I always think this is interesting because the pattern and the shapes that we add to this are completely sort of random and look a little bit like they could be letters, but they aren't letters. Now, if you wanted to do them as letters, then you absolutely could. That would be something that you could do, certainly. I'm going to keep them fairly abstract though. And we are essentially just going to draw some nice shapes within this space. So they can kind of start to drop behind our string line if you want to, but we can kind of play it by ear as to what we want these to look like. So there's kind of a little curve there. I'm going to do maybe this sort of a shape here. And then any shape really that comes to your mind you can draw. You could think about the elemental strokes in Zentangle, which are I, S, C and O. So there's a little S there. I suppose this one's a bit of a C. And then we could just add some orbs in as well, maybe of different sizes. Some of them can drop off behind the edge of the tile there. And you can kind of create any shapes that you like to kind of give you this abstract feel to your tile. Now, I'm not going to pack them too close together because we are going to be adding some more stuff around them. But for now, I'm going to go through and just ink these in. So I've got an 05 pen here, and on a small tile like this, hopefully it won't take me too long. But tangles and tiles where you have lots of inking in are just a nice way to lean into the kind of relaxing element of this and just enjoy the process of filling these spaces with your ink. Taking your time is key. You don't want to rush or miss any spaces out or cross over the edges of the area that you're trying to fill. But just take your time and fill these spaces as you move around the tile with this lovely deep black ink. I'm using a micron pen here, which is an archival quality artist pen. They are quite cheap to get hold of. They are the ones that are recommended and most used in the Zentangle method by Zentangle HQ. If you are based in the UK and you want to get hold of some of these micron pens, there are lots of places that you can get them. I also have a little shop on my website, ivys-corner.com, where you can place an order for some of the key materials that you might need when starting out with the Zentangle method. I have various microns available to send to you. I unfortunately only ship within the UK at this point in time. So if you are in the UK, then it might be a good spot to get yourself some materials. So I have now filled in all of my shapes with the black pen. And the next step of this is going to be to add an aura around the outside of each of these shapes. Now, if you don't know what an aura is, in the Zentangle method, it's essentially just drawing alongside another line or another shape that already exists on the tile. So we don't have to think too hard about it. We can just draw a nice line alongside this shape. I'm keeping my aura quite fine and quite tight around this shape. And just taking my time and working my way around each and every shape that we have on our space here, on our tile, and following along the outside lines of this shape that we've just been filling in. Nice and slow. And being right-handed, I usually find I like to draw alongside the right-hand side of the shape so that I can see what I'm doing more easily. If you're auraing your shapes and your auras want to kind of bump into another shape or into each other, then that's absolutely fine. I will show you just in a second what I will do if that occurs, because the next step after this is to go along and add another aura around each shape again in the same way that we just have. And there's a few different options when it comes to adding your auras when they start to bump into each other. So you'll see here, for example, these two shapes, I won't have space to add a full aura to each of them. So in this instance, I'm going to follow along here and then just aura the shape, both shapes all together to create one continuous line that runs around the outside. Same thing here and here, until I kind of get to a place where I can continue the line or I need to stop the line. So there, for example. And now I've got these spaces here that need auraing, so I can add one inside here until we kind of end up with no space left remaining. And then just continue with that process all the way along. I'm going to come back round to this side now and aura these lines here. And they're just obviously bumping into each other, like so. And then any time that you kind of have a space that finishes, you can just add a couple more lines, add a couple more auras to fill these spaces, with aura lines and create this lovely texture on your tile. So working my way around and just filling these with these inky lines all the way around each shape. And really, you can kind of just have to respond to your own tile here and the shapes that you're creating on your tile, because it will be different for everyone depending on how big you've drawn them, where you've drawn them, and all these things. So here is my finished line work, and I've now finished with my pen. I've put my pen down and I'm going to pick up my pencil and add some shading. I've got my tortillon on hand here, and the first thing I'm going to do is just add some shading into where these kind of areas, like the center part of all of these areas where these auras start to converge together. And anywhere that there is a kind of a point, I'm going to run my pencil, along that. And what it's going to do is just create some depth, like there's shadows being created and the center parts of these aura lines are falling back away from the top area. So anywhere where there's kind of points, a good spot to add some shading, like so. And I'm going to pick up my tortillon and then just simply soften anywhere that I have added this. It's key here just to remember that we want to retain some white space, because the white space is going to give you the illusion of depth. If you end up filling the whole thing with graphite, it is just going to all look grey. So by making sure we retain some white space, we can ensure that we have a real contrast between light and dark, and it creates that depth and dimension. So I've just softened all of those areas, and you can see there how these kind of aurid shapes are really starting to lift away. And that is the Tangle Vermal. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. It's a little bit different to some of the other tangles that you might see in the Zentangle world, so I hope you enjoy using it in your own artwork. Thank you so much for watching. Please do hit the like button and click subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified the next time I post a video. I post all sorts of videos about the Zentangle method all the time. And you can also, if you enjoyed this video, buy me a virtual coffee to say thank you through the link in my Ko-fi page, which is in the description. It just means that I can continue to create these videos for you and give you lots more content for free on YouTube. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.